Hey YouTube, Red Earth Thunder with you here again today, and I'm going to answer a question I get asked quite a bit, and that is, what is your favorite treat? So I have a few treats that I use on a pretty regular basis, and I'm going to show you what each of those are. I want to prelude this with the fact that I am not sponsored by any of these companies yet. Feel free to reach out if you work for one of these companies. But anyways, let me get into that. So I'm going to start with Wellness Puppy Bites. If you've got a pup, these are great treats. They have an extra shot of DHA in them, which is great for their growing brains. So it's something to kind of look out for in their puppy food and in their treats. It's not something necessary in their treats, but should definitely be in their main diet. Anyways, back to treats. So this is what these guys look like. They tear apart super easy. That's the size treat that I'm going to give the baby. I'm not going to give them this whole piece. That is the style of treat that I prefer. Most people prefer to have the training size treats, the little circles. That is not my personal preference. I don't like to hold a bunch of little treats in my hand. I end up dropping a ton of them, which ends up distracting the pup from what we have going on. And so, just a personal preference. Do what works for you. So moving on, this next one actually isn't marketed as a treat, but works really well, pretty high value, and that is Instinct rawboost mixers. It's actually meant to be added to their regular diet. They come in a bunch of different flavors, and this is what these guys look like. I typically break these guys in half, and so that's what you have with those. And now we have Wilderness, by Blue Buffalo, their Wilderness line, Wild Bites, and the salmon recipe is the one that I use the most. It's very stinky. The dogs love that. I don't suggest you stick your nose in the bag. It doesn't smell great to us. This is what those look like, and they tear apart super well. So that's the piece I'm going to give the pup. These are only 4 calories. Nope, I lied to you. 9 calories per piece. I'm tearing this off. So, I'm not a math genius, but I'm going to say the pup's getting roughly 1.5 calories a treat if I'm doing this. So, I have a lot of pet parents that are very conscious of the calories that are going into their pups. And so, if that is something, keep in mind of that. You'll look at the back of your treats and it'll have on there. Gets a little confusing because it says kcals. Don't worry about that. But it breaks it down of what's in the entire bag as well as what's in each treat. So that helps you out. The only one out of the ones I'm showing you that doesn't do that is the Instinct, because it's, like I said, it's not intended as a treat. It breaks it down, if I'm not mistaken, by the cups. So the biggest thing is, if calories are an issue, then look at that. So the next one I'm going to show you is by Orijen. These are freeze-dried treats that are super high reward. They are perfect for anybody with allergy issues in their dogs, because it's very clear what's in them. It's a very short list because it's only whatever it is. So this one is the freeze-dried duck version. So the only thing that's in this one is duck and duck liver and the preservative. And so what these look like is this. And I typically break them. Depends on the one. So sometimes they come out, I don't know if it's the different meats or if it's just the different batches, but sometimes they come out and they're very crumbly. So with those, I typically only break them in half. But with some of the ones that have a little more substance to them, whatever you want to call it, I'll break down into like 4 different pieces. Now the treat that I use by far the most, that would be True Chews jerky cut specifically. So True Chews makes a ton of different treats, but their jerky cuts are the ones that I use when it comes to training a ton. They've got duck like this one. They make a bunch of other ones. They've got turkey, chicken, and steak as well. And so it just depends on what you prefer. What I try to do sometimes. It doesn't really matter. For the pup, they're going to be happy either way. But a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just switch up whatever meat is in their diet. I'll throw a different flavored treat in there. So this is what these look like. Now, when I am training, I will tear these into 3 different pieces. And now this one piece is what I keep in my hand and I reward with my other hand. That's the piece I'm giving the pups. So if you do decide to use a jerky, just make sure that it's a very moist jerky. A lot of the jerkies are a little hard. The True Chews ones are not. So this is how I prefer to train. One big treat. I like to lure big, reward small. That's all I'm doing. Now these are, if I remember correctly, 44 calories a treat. They are. So 44 calories is a lot. But you see the pieces I'm tearing these into. That's 3 tiny pieces. We still got a whole lot on just a third of this. So again, if calories are an issue, keep that in mind. But to answer y'all's questions, these are the treats that I like to use. Have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear from y'all what you would like to see in the next video. We got puppy season coming up, and I will do a whole segment on that. That's a whole different thing. But please let me know what you have going on with your own personal pups in the comments below. Give it a thumbs up if you haven't already. Subscribe for those already following along. I appreciate all of your support, and I will see you all in the very next video.